Welcome to Source BMX. I'm Van Homan. Today we're here in Hastings, England with one of the style greats and all the accolades to go with it. X Games gold medals, Nora Cups. This man has done it all. Ladies and gentlemen, Chase Hawk.
Thank you, Van. I appreciate it. Sorry I've been avoiding this bike check for so long with you.
Yeah,
but
this is 2 years in the making.
Yeah. I'm glad that we could finally get it sorted out for sure. Yeah.
All right, so Chase, you've got a Colt Fly build here. You've got your Colt signature frame along with a number of other signature products. Let's start with the frame. It's kind of got some classic geometry to it. You're riding a 21-inch top tube, a longer 13.5 rear end, and a 74.5 head tube. Break down this frame and why it's your geometry of choice.
Honestly, if I'm not wrong, I think my geometry has been the same for about the last 5 or 6 years. I'm definitely someone who, once they find out what they want and I don't really change it too much. So I think in the 15 years I've been doing my frame, it's only changed once or twice in very minute details, you know? So yeah, I really just want kind of a classic, straightforward kind of race trail feel. Nothing that's too jumpy in any certain area. So it's kind of just a cruising, mellow ride, I guess.
Yeah, I tend to think that this kind of longer classic style does seem to fit the more stylish, high-speed riders.
Oh, a lot of the frame geometry these days has gotten so much steeper in the front and shorter in the rear that it inevitably makes everything really jerky when you're trying to boost, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Frames have gotten a lot more specific to a rider's style of riding.
Yeah, so I've definitely tried to keep it, really... it sounds boring, but my setup has really been the same for the last decade or so.
Keep it classic. Keep it classic, just like you're riding.
Yeah, I find what I like, and it's not much room to change, I guess the biggest change I've made in that time is going from a front load to a top load.
Okay.
And
so let's jump right into the stem.
Yeah.
What kind of stem? We have a fly stem here. What are we riding?
Yeah, so a fly stem, it's a 33 millimeter, I'm sorry, we cut that. No, 53 millimeter. Yeah. Okay. So a little bit longer. Just a basic feel, I guess. Yeah.
So it does look kind of like a classic top load design, and like you said, it's a kind of stretch out the front end with that longer 53 millimeter stem.
I think it's still most people are running shorters too. I don't know many people that are running a stem this long. It's mostly the trail guys that are running a bigger front end setup like this. But like I said, it's just kind of what works for me, and I stick with it.
Gives you that room up front.
It's weird when if I try anything different, I notice it so much. It's ridiculous, So I really just kind of, stick to what I know and don't fucking put anything else on there.
So what about the forks? You've also got your own signature bar and forks, is that correct?
Signature bars, yeah. So I've got signature bars with Colt. Same deal, they're 8.8 rise. I've never really ridden anything over 9-inch.
Okay, yeah, that's a little small by today's standards.
Totally. And then it's got kind of a more straighter sweep on it too. So it's only 10 back and 4 up.
Okay.
So a little bit straighter and more of that up sweep, just because I've always found that it kind of makes your wrist a little bit more comfortable and takes less impact. I got that one from Ruben from back in the day. Yeah. So yeah, just and the geometry on this has been the same for quite a while. So I don't find much reason to really move from this because it's just kind of what I prefer.
Yeah, and so you run the 8.8s. Are these bars available in other sizes as well?
No, just this one right here.
So truly a signature product.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I realize that it's not exactly what everyone prefers these days, but there's still a small group of people out there that really want and need something there's definitely still a demand for these style parts, just because, I don't know, it's, the geometry has changed so much and it still does yearly on all these bikes that it's it's hard to find something that just feels normal.
No, yeah, like you
know?
said, I mean, now that like BMX has like a true history to it, and there's a lot more people like riding our age into their 40s or 50s, and they are looking for a more classic feeling bike.
Yeah, and that's because, I mean, obviously the majority, I think, is very street focused, you know, and that style of geometry plays for that style of riding perfectly, you know, so it's...
But your average 35 to 45, they're not trying to learn. They're not trying to learn Phoebe's hard threes.
No, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I really want my bike to kind of feel like a stable ship that I can just kind of cruise around the water. You know.
All right, Chase, you've got the Fly Volcano forks with a pretty mellow 33 millimeter offset. Again, I think this all comes back to you wanting a cruisy, comfortable, stable feeling bike, right?
Totally, and yeah, I mean, before I ran the Fly forks, I had the 32-degree forks on. So this is just 1 degree more, but it was surprising, like how much differently it was to get used to, for sure. But definitely, once I did, it's just one of those weird things that I can't really see going back from. I guess Fly's purpose for that too, they gave them to, you know, Sergio and Ruben and a lot of their ramp guys, and tried it in like a few different geometries, you know, from 32 even going up to like 35.
Wow.
And this is kind of what they kind of cohesively decided on, that 33 would be the good dimension, I guess. So I trust those guys, you know, if they put the effort into finding that out, then I mean, and it definitely works and plays to a strength for like transition riding, for sure. It's just much more controllable, really. I mean,
makes
that's really
sense.
what it comes down to, is like, I don't know, if you're going far or going high, you just want to be as in much control of this thing as possible, I guess, you know. So
No, absolutely. Full stability.
yeah, stability.
Built for speed.
Yeah.
All right, Chase, let's talk about your drivetrain. First, you have your own signature cranks with Colt, kind of an ankle-friendly design. You're also running cranks that are a bit longer than your average rider with 180 millimeters. So break down what went into the design of these cranks and why you run the longer ones.
Same thing. I put on the 180s probably 10, 11 years ago. I felt like I was able to put a lot more pedal power into the just rotation, I guess.
Just more leverage,
Just more leverage, yeah. I mean, I felt like it helped with getting more speed. I've also got a 39 gear setup.
39?
39.
39 what?
30 in the front, 9 in the back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry. No. That's like a Garrett Burns gear, like 39 in the front. Yeah. No, but it is hard to pedal. So with the harder gear ratio and the longer cranks, I also feel like it's easier to control fakies, just because it's, I don't know, a slower rotation going back. And really, I mean, the short distance speed, anytime you're trying to get a lot of speed at something to where you can only get 3 or 4 cranks in it, this is really the gear ratio that you want, because you can kind of max out quick. You know, and especially obviously with the leverage with the cranks. And I'm not even like a big tall guy or anything.
How tall are you?
I'm only 5'9".
Okay.
So like, and to give you an idea, I mean, the only other person that I've known that ran 180s was like Doyle and Justin Inman and like these bigger, taller people that like required it, you know? And I just feel like I've found benefit in it, in even being the short guy, you know? So, and it's weird, you know, I mean, it's normal to have most street riders be on like a 160 now.
Yeah, super short.
So it's crazy to, you know, see and hear guys that are bigger than me running cranks that small. I'm like, fuck, am I doing something wrong? But no.
So what about the sprocket? You said you're running a 30. It's the Fly tractor sprocket.
Yep. Yeah, pretty basic, straightforward, kind of race-looking sprocket. I don't need a chain guard or anything like that, so I'd always just prefer something thin, and, you know, I don't really have to worry about bending it too much. I'm not doing sprocket pedal grinds or anything, so...
just keep it clean and classic.
Usually something that's going to just, kind of straightforward. Same with everything else, kind of normal chain. obviously have the fly brake set up, everything fly from the lever to the cable, then the brakes as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. We don't get to talk about brakes in these
I
bike
know,
checks too
yeah.
often anymore. So let's dive into the brakes. I mean,
Yeah.
this fly design has been around for a long time now. Amazing, like one of the first really high performance CNC brakes.
Yeah, and I mean, before I was even on the team, and it was about 3 years ago when I decided to put brakes back on, I bought a few different pairs and tried a few different kinds just to kind of sample to see what I would like. And I don't know, I mean, these just kind of dominate. Like, they really are the best brake system.
Yeah, I mean, they have sealed bearings in them, right? Is that correct?
And once you get them dialed in right, it's just, they feel and lock so much better than everything else.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I also love this lever. Like, you have this like clean. There's no like big barrel adjuster.
Oh, man, it's perfect. It's
I'm actually running this lever myself. Right
Really?
now. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, I obviously didn't have any input on the design side of things on this, but man, they're great, and yeah, they don't need to be any different.
Yeah. So what about going back to your pedals, or your drivetrain for a second? What about the Colt Dakota Roche pedals?
Yeah, I mean, just a classic, straightforward pedal. I've ran plastic pedals for the last 10 years. I don't think I'm a metal pedal guy anymore. Yeah.
I would peg you for a metal pedal guy.
Yeah, I know. Shoot, my shins just my shins say no. So. Yeah, and then obviously the Colt DAC one has, it's kind of notoriously known for having the larger body, so I prefer that too. Feels more stable for your foot. I don't know, most of the plastic pedals out there are considerably smaller than this, and it really makes your foot feel like it's not on enough, I guess, so. Yeah, I mean, it's another one of those products that I've had on there forever and don't run anything else because of it. It's like just what I like, so I don't change it.
Perfect. No need to.
Yeah.
So Chase, this is not available yet, but you've got your own signature Fly Hawk seat. Yep. It's got kind of a unique design to it. It looks kind of like a race shape almost. What's the inspiration for this, and when can we expect to see it available?
So all of this stuff will be landing soon. The tires and the seat, probably within the next couple months or so, hopefully. But yeah, very simple, straightforward design. Just not trying to reinvent the wheel.
Is that inspired by your race days a bit?
Oh, totally. Yeah. And then what's the fucking technology with the bolt on the bottom?
Oh, Fly does the tripod, right?
The tripod seat.
Yeah. So Fly has this was Fly's technology.
Yeah, exactly. So
that keeps it clean with no pivotal bolt at the top.
Totally. Yeah. I really prefer it. And it's just simple, straightforward. It's gonna come in black and this gray. I like this gray just because it fades and kind of turns into something different with this material.
Yeah, it really takes me back to it really makes me feel like something that with this suede and this color, like something that would have been on my race bike like in the 90s.
Yeah. What I'm trying to think of
Velo or
like
something.
A Velo or like a Cashmax seat or something like that. Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay, what about, you just mentioned to me earlier, your rubber, your tires, your grips. There's pretty interesting backstory to both of these. So share this with the people.
Yes. So basically, got on Fly bikes for parts a little over 2 years ago. Obviously wanted to start working on some signature product pretty quick. And I was initially starting to design my own set of tires, and we were going back and forth with different designs and whatnot. And then they approached me and said that Courage had been working on a tire, and they had already made the mold for it and had samples, and it ended up being something that wasn't 100% that he was into and wanted it to be different a little bit. And they had mentioned, if you like these, we could move quicker in the process since the mold's already made, and obviously keep costs down. Don't have to. I mean, a new mold is one of the most expensive things. It's one of the most expensive steps in the process. So,
But I think the point is you really like the tire. I mean, it looks like a really good pool tire, you know?
Yeah, they sent me the tire, and I was really surprised right away with how good they felt, and definitely felt confident with being able to, I don't know, make this my own, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, and I just felt like it sped up the process on being able to make them and whatnot. So, yeah.
Yeah, it looks perfect for pools and bowls to me. Like super smooth, but has a traction on the sides.
Yeah, it's got this little lip on the sides that feels really cool carving. Yeah, man, I'm really hyped on it. And it's super wide. It's 2.5.
Okay, so you're at 2.5s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
And what tire pressure do you usually run?
So probably about 65 or so.
Okay, pretty lower than I would expect for a bowl pool rider.
Yeah. I mean, I like to. I think once I get up and over 80 or so, I don't feel as much of the corner and transition as I want to, and it almost feels like I'm sliding out or something.
Okay.
It feels less controllable, really. So I think a little squishy is, definitely what I prefer. So yeah, I'm happy that all worked out. These should be coming out soon. And then for the grip situation was similar as well. Was working on a mold, and Devin ended up leaving, and I liked his grip, so they already had it made. So gonna just use his,
right.
I guess. So.
I like it.
Same deal. It just kind of keeps shit simple and keeps costs down, really, which is important right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think that translates to the customer in the end as well, you know? Like,
yeah. So, yeah, man.
Nobody wants expensive stuff. They want quality at an affordable price.
And companies want to spend less. So yeah, dude.
All right, Chase, so let's talk about the wheels. Pretty iconic rim from Fly. Been around for a long time now. You really notice that it's a Fly rim with the holes in it. It's the Fly Lunar rim.
Fly Lunar rim with the magneto hubs. And definitely an iconic cassette wheel set. I mean, you can hear this thing coming from a mile away, and it sounds distinctively different than Profile or an Odyssey,
Well, and it's a different technology too. I mean, like it's called the Magneto. Like they're using magnets in this thing.
Yeah, and it's cool. I mean, that's why you get that really loud noise, because the paws are just clicking over so aggressively on it. It sounds weird, but I really do love the sound of it. It kind of turns it into like more of a moto feel, I ran Profile hubs previous to this, and this just felt so much cooler. Like you can, I don't know, dude. It just really did. Like you can almost
it's like putting a baseball card in your spokes.
It did, yeah. I just feel like it accentuated a lot in areas that I wasn't expecting it, and it made me happy about it. I don't know.
No, that's amazing. I mean, and two, going back to the rims, you have kind of this offset spoke pattern, which I think keeps everything really stable.
Totally, and I love the way it looks. I think the holes in the middle is just it kind of goes back to that clean racer old school look. And I had never really had anything like this previous to these. I've always ran a solid rim, nothing that was like this, So, man, I really just love how simple and straightforward most of Fly's designs are, and it's very fitting to what I prefer.
Yeah, they definitely have very clean designs. I feel like they've always been infamous for that.
Yeah, I mean, you look behind the scenes, and it's Sergio and Ruben, and all these legendary transition riders that are hands-on making and designing this stuff.
Stylish riders, stylish parts.
Yeah, and it's all meant for a purpose, and it's that transition riding, I guess, All
right, Chase, so again, not too often you see two metal pegs on a bike anymore.
I would say, anybody that rides ramps more consistently knows that plastic pegs are not the material of choice for metal coping. So if you're not out in the streets taking advantage of how well plastic slides on a ledge or a rail, then you don't need them, you
Right.
know? And if you're grinding ramps for the majority of the time, it's just so much faster and quicker and smoother, bar none.
Yeah, I agree. 100% agree.
Sticks easier for toothpicks and things like that, you know?
And which pegs are these? Are the fly?
They're fly, I don't know the name.
Those
It's
are
yeah,
fly.
they're 4.5.
They fly on the coping?
Yeah. I do run a longer peg. I run 4.5.
Okay.
So most people run 4. I like having that extra little bit of room just because I do a lot of ice pick grinds, a lot of, back sub rail stuff, and I don't know, I want all the room I can get, like, and even toothpicks, sometimes I'll do them and I'm right on the fucking edge of it, you know,
Yeah,
to where
okay.
like if I had a short one, I might just skip
Yeah.
the fucking thing.
Helps
you know?
helps you avoid those hippers
I need
on the missed
all
toothpick.
the extra help in areas I can get at this point. So I realize the 4.5 isn't necessarily the cool peg these days, but I don't fucking care. If it means I'm not gonna like be sliding, I'll make it on to whatever I'm trying to grind.
Fair enough.
Least, you know?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Chase, thank you for being here at the Source Park and sharing your Colt fly build. Everybody make sure to go on sourcebmx.com, check out the bike builder. There you can get pricing, specs, and availability for everything Chase is riding. sourcebmx.com.
Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, bud.